today's episode, we are celebrating the talented and beautiful and creative Kristi Clinton. She is turning 41, and we are so excited to be celebrating her this week. So let's dive into this fun episode all about, like, what did her first year in her 40s look like? Let's dive in.
You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in. All right. Woot, woot, woot.
Woot, woot.
We are doing a happy birthday, Kristi episode.
I'm really excited about this because, Beth, you have shown me how to celebrate my birthday thoroughly.
Well, you're welcome. We can thank Cheryl Heller, my mother, for that.
Thank you, Cheryl Heller. I hope you're listening to this.
She will be listening.
And I also love that Beth has showed me to or taught me how to celebrate the whole week. That it's not a day, it's a week.
Well, now we got to work on a month because we do a month around here at the Randall household. Mark thinks I'm freaking crazy.
Until his month comes around.
And then he's like, it's my birthday month. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting.
So we are recording this episode a little bit early because now when this episode comes out, Kristi and Ryan are on vacation and living their best life.
Yep.
Celebrating their anniversary and birthdays and all that good stuff. So we are recording ahead of time, full disclosure. But that doesn't mean that the celebration is going to be any less spectacular.
No. And like you said, birthday month.
Yeah. So what's on deck for your birthday week?
Wow. So we'll be in Holbox where we got married. We're going away.
That's like your happy place, right?
It is our happy place. It's our easy happy place. And we have not been back to the place where we got married since we got married because
that's cool.
It's like older kids only and up. So they don't let little kids go there. So it's
sorry, Kaya.
Yeah. So Kaya's she's gonna spend the week with Grandma and Pop, and we are going away for the first time this week.
Since having a child.
Since having a child. We're going away for the first time, just us for a week, and we're just so excited. So that's what's on deck for my birthday week. And then, of course, I'm gonna celebrate with you, right?
Yeah.
And then
we just got to figure out what we're going to do. We got to go have some fun.
Yeah, something outside. Honestly, I'm such a summer person, human.
Yeah. It only
that
makes sense
having
that you
a summer
were born
birthday
in the summer. Yeah.
Probably has something to do with it. And so just outside, sun, hot. It's usually always hot on my birthday. Being outside, friends, family, good food, maybe a beverage or 2 or 3. Yeah. And
heck yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I'm going to celebrate.
What's your favorite birthday dessert?
Oh my gosh.
I know you love tres leche, like you love Kaya, but is that your
Kaya,
favorite?
It's not true. Auntie Beth is not saying true things.
It is. No. It is so true. She loves tres leche almost as much as she loves you. What is that your favorite dessert, or do you prefer something else on your birthday?
I would take the coconut tres leches from Cafe Latte on my birthday as my number one.
Always. Any time of the year that's your favorite dessert? Or
it's
I know you had it for your wedding.
I like desserts. So if we were getting it into this, a really good chocolate cake with a legit frosting, Keys makes a really good chocolate cake.
Interesting.
I would do that. I love it.
See, I didn't think that you would pick chocolate. That's a little surprising to me.
Yeah. So I enjoy ice cream, but I'm not an ice cream fanatic. So it would never be ice cream. It would be cake based. I come from a family of bakers. You have to give me a cake.
You have legit bakers in your family.
But this store-bought icing crap, it just
gross.
No. Although a good funfetti cake has a place in life.
Yeah,
But
I like funfetti.
It has a place, right?
Yeah.
But aside from that, yeah, a good. My grandma used to make this German chocolate cake. She hasn't made it in like years and years, probably a decade at least. That would be
with
really
like the
good.
coconut pecan icing on it.
And it's like more of a chocolate
It's
cake.
really good.
Yeah. My aunt also makes that too.
That was my dad's favorite cake.
I would pick those, but I like desserts, so there's a lot of desserts I would pick. But coconut tres leches, number one from Cafe Latte. Plan to have some tres leches while we're in Holbox for sure.
I remember in Costa Rica, you're like, oh, this place is good. Tres leche. Oh, this place does. I ate my life like tres leches every place we went to when we were in Costa Rica together,
and it was amazing.
In Puerto Rico too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you remember what was that restaurant in Puerto Rico? That like Michelin star. What was the one that we went to? And they made the
marmalade or jam.
Oh,
they
I
own
can't
those two
remember.
restaurants.
Yeah, and they
Peter
brought
is
it
the
out
chef.
in a coconut, and then they like flame or what do you call it, Beth? Help me.
They like torched it.
Torched the top of the coconut, toasted it.
Oh yeah,
that was
totally
really
forgot
good.
about that.
I have a picture in my phone. See, so it's things I remember.
Yeah, I know you love. You're like a coconutaholic. Anything coconut, you're all about it.
Love it, and I do enjoy a good chocolate. The combo is amazing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why you like German chocolate, because it's coconut and chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. That totally makes sense.
Yep. I like that we start with food.
Okay, so last year we had a really big bash for your 40th.
We did.
We had a super fun birthday, and we had coconut tres leche.
We did.
What did your 40th year look like?
Oh man, I need to take a drink of my sparkling water here. So, my 40th year, to be really honest, has looked mostly nothing like I thought it would look like. So there have been some like awesome moments, like the beginning, right? The birthday party, the celebrating, super awesome. Had some really good growth personally in my marriage as a mom. All that has been great. Deepened some friendships too, let some other ones go. Like that kind of stuff has been really good. But personally has been more of a year of like hard loss, emotional. This is kind of depressing for a birthday episode, but to be really transparent, it's been a really hard year. So I thought going into 40 was gonna look glorious. I had spent so much of my life, and I think we talked about this last year on my birthday episode, but like dreading getting older, and thinking that was like this 40 was like. Do you remember when you thought 40 was old?
Yeah, because I still remember when my mom turned 40 and she was a single mom and how stressed out her life was. Yeah. So I always thought 40 was like stressed out time of life.
Yeah.
Until I turned 40, and then I'm like, what? I'm like 25.
I know. And so after I talked about like after losing a really close friend young, that put things into perspective for me, age, like a lot then. And it kind of started a little bit before that, but really she passed when she was 39. So she didn't make it to 40. So that was like, I will never complain again about having the opportunity to like have more time on this earth with people I love. So that when 40 hit, I was actually really excited. And had you asked me 5 years before that, I would have been dreading it. I remember dreading my 30th birthday. Like, remember we went to Cabo? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I gotta drink my worries away. I can't believe I'm 30. And goodness, how much we learn, right? Yeah. You learn like in your 20s, you think you know everything. In your 30s, you're certain you do. And I think your 30s are such amazing growth happens in your 30s.
Yeah, you like literally don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah,
in your
from
30s.
Just like the beginning of your 30s to like late 30s. Yep. And so turning 40 it felt really big. It felt really good. I felt really aligned in life. I felt really aligned in like personally. My work felt good. Motherhood felt good. Marriage was like finally kind of starting to get a little bit of space again, after having a small child during a pandemic. And then we Ryan and I made some decisions. We decided that we were going to grow our family, and that did not go as planned. So this is where the tears come. So we decided, like, ended our year basically with thinking we were going to have another baby, and we experienced a loss then. And then what that happened after that was 2 more losses, and what that did to like our family and our marriage and like just life and alignment and just
that like rocked you.
It just to my core, like, and still even now, like we talked about a few episodes ago about just starting to feel like grounded again, or like starting to be grounded, when my word of the year was grounding. And I talked about how I do like I sort of like start to think about the end of the year in like October, right?
Yeah.
In November. And that was when we sort of like, I came up with that word and what I wanted for life. And we, you know, our first loss happened right around Thanksgiving. And so right before the holidays, which I was so excited for. And it sort of like, it didn't sort of like what that took away from that time, like the end of year time, that's supposed to feel so joyful. And then what we experienced the months after that with 2 more losses just really crushed us to our core. And so what we've had to do since then, the healing and this, I guess, searching and the doctor's appointments and just how life has looked so incredibly different than I thought it would, like when we celebrated my birthday here last year. And so nothing like I thought, filled with a lot of loss, filled with hope that was kind of crushed, to be honest.
Yeah.
And now sort of coming, I guess, out of it or like through it and starting to finally get my bearings again. It feels almost like I didn't, like I think I said in our goal and intention study episode, like I didn't grow this year. I just kind of like had to get through it. And so it has felt very different than I thought in the beginning. It's the long way around that question.
I know it's been a lot for you personally, and it's I literally can't even imagine all like the roller coaster of emotions that you've gone through this year. And like
still, and like how it's just such a long process, and we're still like ongoing with it, and you know there's appointments and all that within that. So what it did to our family and how it, just like how you said, how it shook us, has been just incredible. So nothing like I thought, but I do know that the growth is starting to happen and things are starting to shift now. And like this year will look very different, and I'm looking forward to it. I finally am starting to feel more in alignment, which feels great. Like kind of back to where I was a year ago, which
what are your intentions for your 41st year around the sun?
My intentions are really back to feeling grounded, focusing on my health and wellness in a like whole body, whole mind, body way, not in like a diet or like a rigorous exercise way or like a specific way of like, you know, doing things, just like a really grounded way of doing everything, slow, like easing in and slow is really my intentions for the rest of this year, or for this year, and giving myself grace and just, again, just trying to get back to like feeling really grounded in alignment. Cause I think this is probably the longest I've ever felt out of alignment.
Really?
Yeah. Since I knew what alignment was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's felt so just like, you know, you can't get a hold of your emotions or that kind of thing. So that part of it has been is really challenging. So that's what I'm looking forward to. My intentions for the year are just kind of getting back, like not back to, but like feeling more like myself and growth from there. So I'm actually really looking forward to it, because I think this year a lot of great things are going to happen. They are happening. Yeah. It's great.
Well, so I know what your you guys always talk about in your household, like at the end of your day, like peaks and pits.
We do. Kaya's always like, Mom, what was a peak of your day? And then Dad, this is like what we do
So
every
we know
day.
what the pit was. But
Yeah.
what were some of your peaks?
My peaks.
Of your 40th year, your first year in your new decade?
I know, it's incredible, right? Oh my gosh. My peaks for sure have been more time with Ryan. That's felt really like present. That has been really awesome. So that another peak has been kind of some closer relationships with some family members that I was like maybe a little more distant with. That's felt really good. So really growing relationships. Those were 2 peaks. Another peak was, professionally, like the team growing, seeing the growth in the team is super fulfilling, and seeing my role within that and being really lit up by most of the work. No, let's face it, it's never all.
What? It's not all the most joyful thing you've ever done?
But, especially like helping people with the branding and developing the brand, and then seeing them in alignment and actually executing it is super rewarding. So that has been a peak for me. Getting to travel with my family earlier in the year was a really big peak. We spent 2 weeks on the beach, which was amazing. That was a really big peak for us.
Awesome.
Yeah. So those, I think they're pretty simple, but those were my peaks this year.
They all sound like perfectly wonderful.
Yeah. There's been a lot of good too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is, so like you're all about like sun. Besides
give me sun every
like
day.
Feeling grounded, so like the trip around the sun, what are like 2 things that you like hope to, I don't know, accomplish, achieve, whatever that word is, or check off your bucket list? Do you have like 2 or 3 things that you're like, I would love to do this year?
I'm definitely looking forward to my trip with Ryan. That's like a really big thing, which is happening literally like when this episode goes out.
That's momentous. Like your first,
it's huge. Like
your
leaving
first
Kaya,
trip as a couple.
Yeah.
When you have a toddler that you've never left.
And like more the reason, I mean, there's so many reasons it feels so momentous, but like really honestly, like putting our marriage, like, okay, like we have given Kaya our all and we will continue to, but also we so badly want her to see a healthy marriage.
Yep.
And a healthy mom and dad. And like, even though it might be, she's going to love her time with her grandma and pop-up. And even though she might miss us and it might be hard. And I honestly thought that I probably would never do this until she was like 5 or 6, but it feels really right now. Like letting her know, like you might, like you are going to miss us, or hopefully she misses us.
TBD on that.
And right. That's okay. Also like mom and dad get time too, and that's important. So for her to see like there is sacrifice there, but it's very important because I want her to have healthy relationships that she finds harmony in. So
great for you guys to be modeling that.
It
like
is
walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yeah, so that is a really big thing for us. And I've never been away from her for more than a night. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Something else I'm looking forward to is my this is like super mind shifty kind of, but my transition, working on getting back to when I had Kaya, like I physically started to just started to accept my body and like kind of what happened. And there's a lot that happens when you have a baby, obviously. And just sort of like, I want my daughter to see a woman who loves herself thoroughly. So I've practiced like self-love when I was pregnant, actually like affirmations and things like that. And we do it together. And really that shifted for me, like how I viewed myself, and in a really good way, I should say. So I really started accepting myself like physically in a way that I never had before, and loving myself in a way I'd never had before. And with the losses, I started to shift the other way really drastically, and turning to like kind of like hate my body for what happened. And so I've been actively working on trying to shift back, and I'm starting to see growth there. So looking forward to putting more time and effort into that because it feels so much better to love myself fully. So
yeah, you've
I
always
plan
been,
on,
I feel like from my vantage point, you've been so good at that. Like you didn't
it's been a
pressure
lot of
yourself
work.
to lose baby weight. Like you didn't do any of that. You're like, I'm doing this my way. And I'm like, I think it felt so healthy from my vantage point that you didn't put all these crazy pressure on yourself.
It's so easy to do, and like
Yeah.
it still creeps in,
We
and like
joke
it's
about it. Like you turn on Instagram and you're like, oh, yeah, I lost all my baby weight in 2 weeks. Look at my bikini body. And
Yeah.
you're just like, I want to kill myself.
That's great. Like everyone's different, and so I just learned to like accept myself wholly, I guess, like my full self.
Yeah.
And that shift has been the hardest for me with the losses. And something I haven't been able to control. So I've been actively working on that, and I like looking forward to actually working on that more because I want that release so bad. I want
That's
it.
that's so special. I love that.
So those are the things that I guess I'm looking forward to most. Loving
love it.
myself and going on vacation.
Hell yeah. Check,
Right,
check.
right.
Those are both fantastic things.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited when you listen to this podcast. Hopefully you'll be back from your vacation and fully rested and with your sun-kissed glow from the sun in Mexico.
Yeah.
And all of us are so happy for you to have a birthday and to be celebrating you.
41.
41. It's a big deal, friend.
It's amazing.
Well, I just want you to know how much you are loved and cherished.
I feel
by
it.
me in particular.
I know. I love you too. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Well, until next time, Bus Bench Babes, drop Kristi a note if you're thinking about her today on her birthday. But until next time, keep your face off a bus bench and keep being a badass boss babe that you are.
Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us, and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.